Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Ketchadori.
Hey guys, it's great that you join us here today. With me is a good friend, Angela Gentile. Angela is an amazing lady who's out there helping entrepreneurs do what they do best through her system. Now, let me ask you a question. Because of the pandemic, maybe, are you feeling stuck? Or are you feeling like something is not working so well and you want to change something and you don't know exactly where to start? Well, if you are, you're in the right place because my friend Angela is going to show you exactly the system that you can use in your life today to start moving your life in the right direction. Angela, thanks for joining us here on the show today.
Thank you. What an honor to be here. I'm so pumped. I'm excited to talk and connect with some like-minded individuals and some entrepreneurs.
It's awesome. And what I like about you is you are joining us from Boston, one of the best places in the world, they say.
I mean, I'm biased because I live here, but yeah, Boston's a great place.
It's a great place.
I can have a Boston accent, but I don't naturally. So
That's awesome. I've got great friends over there in Boston that I get to do live with all the time. One thing I like about Angela, if you're joining us for the first time here, is Angela is a personal development coach and a lifestyle coach who helps individuals like you and I who may be feeling stuck, help them set boundaries, start saying yes to themselves without fear, shame, or judgment. In fact, Angela works with a lot of clients, be it virtually or even in person through her program, Movement Mastermind Group. And today, we're truly honored to have Angela with us here so that we can discover those things that we can do to get ourselves unstuck. Look, if you and I are to be honest, there are areas in our lives that we feel stuck. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what level of success you have. There will always be areas that you need improvement. So tune in today and to get yourself ahead of the pack by doing the things that have been proven to work. Angela, let's get started. For those who don't know you, I know that you've done some some training beforehand. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started, and what led you to do what you do today.
Sure. So sort of the abridged version of this. My name is Angela Gentile, and I'm the founder and creator of Sweat Remix, which is a comprehensive mindful wellness brand for the mind, body, and soul. And I started this back in grad school in like 2013 when I was a public school teacher. And it was just an idea because I was teaching high school and I was so burnt out. And I was like, if I have to look at student data and grade papers, I'm going to lose my mind. Like this is going to be the thing that like pushes me over the edge. So I was like, what can I do for my thesis that would be fun and also like kind of kill two birds with one stone? Like, how can I work out and take better care of myself? So I started a wellness program at my school for teachers. And once we were done with my thesis, I was like, all right, everybody, see you later. Bye. And they're like, wait, Angela, we want to keep going. And I was like, will you guys pay me? And they said, yeah. And I was like, I think I'm onto something. So I started teaching these like mindful classes because as teachers, my heart goes out to any teacher right now, just surviving this pandemic, teaching virtually, teaching in person, wearing a mask, like doing all these things in such an incredibly inconsistent time. Even before all that, we're burnt out. Like there's a lot of expectations on teachers in general. So I created like a one-stop shop to like check in, to put our life mask on first and actually like move out and shift energy and also like take care of yourself, lose some weight, have a little bit more energy and also become connected with the self so that you can do all of the 1,000,007 things that you need to do. And then when tragedy struck, I lost my father in 2015 suddenly.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the catalyst. I think, sometimes you learn by the weight of bricks or the touch of a feather. And for me, it was just the heaviness of loss. And I realized I was unhappy teaching. I had this thing that I was doing, but I was really scared and nervous. I'm like, well, what happens if it fails? Like, I have this job, I'm making money, I have health insurance. And when my father passed, I was like, it's time. It's time to go and live epically. It's time to be brave. It's time to honor my dad and the life that like he didn't get to live that I do. And I'm going to do what moves me and what inspires me. And I'm going to unstick myself and start moving forward. So Sweat Remix was born from that, which is now a virtual fitness platform, virtual wellness platform that includes like actual physical fitness classes, cycling, meditation, HIIT classes, and also a mastermind group, which is focused around kind of like healing and therapy and life coaching as well. So it really throws in everything together in my experience. So
yeah, I absolutely love that, Angela, because you use that grief which you experience about your dad, to fuel you to create something that is truly helping a lot of people. For those who want to check Angela's website, in fact, at the end of this conversation, you will get the opportunity to know where to find the material because Angela is actually doing that. What I like about that story, Angela, is you are becoming an example to a lot of people, entrepreneurs, because we all going through different experiences. It is what we do about those experiences which is going to decide the quality of life we're going to live. In your case, Angela, you have decided to fuel your goals because of the passing away of your dad in an honoring way, in a way that you put yourself down. So I truly honor that, and I hope if you're listening, you will maybe you're going through an experience right now. You may want to look at it. What can you learn from it? How can you use that experience to create the lifestyle that honors that experience or the people in your life, and most importantly, that honors you and the Creator who have given you tremendous gifts that you have today. Angela, you have a concept which I subscribe to, which I truly love, and it is that of movement, mindfulness. Would you talk to us a little bit about the importance of movement as a way of creating change that provide that catalyst to creating the lifestyle that you want?
Absolutely. I think sometimes we forget that movement of the physical body isn't just like you throwing weights around and moving your body. We're energy, and matter vibrating at a certain frequency is energy. And when we're not intentional about what we're moving, what are we actually doing? It seems like it's arbitrary. And we're always in control of our life. We're in control of how we show up, and we're never victims of circumstance. Life happens. Life will continue to happen, and it definitely throws some bullshit. So rather than resisting against that, because the world's just going to continue to throw things. So it's how do you swerve? How do you adapt in a way that honors and loves and respects yourself and where you're going? So when we move mindfully, it's about really connecting to what do I need to shift and move in my energy, and how do I use my physical body as a vehicle to shift and pivot and release any of the negative energy that's anchoring me in places where I don't want to be, in a mindset that doesn't work, and places where I feel stuck. So by physically moving our body with intention to release some of that energy is where we can start to just shift the ground a little bit and start, a little bit of a rumbling within ourselves to shake up energy, to start vibrating at a higher frequency and move through, not hit the wall, not work out, check out, think about everything else except what we're doing, and meet ourselves in the exact same place as we were when we started. No, it's about shifting the mindset, shifting the body, shifting the energy so that in 45 minutes of your class, you've moved, you've elevated, and your time was valuable, and there was purpose, and there was meaning behind it.
I love that. The first time I heard that motion creates emotion, at first I thought, what is going on? What are you talking about? Until I discovered that the more you move, it dictates the emotions you feel, and that decides, how you're going to be showing up. I love that because you mentioned that is how you show up is also going to decide how people are going to respond to you. Now, for those perhaps who have stopped, maybe consider the concept of movement? How can they get started, in your opinion, based on the classes that you do?
So I think this is not an uncommon concept. So for anybody listening who is like, I haven't moved since February of 2020, that's cool. I think that's just information. That's just information about where there's resistance and there's magic there and there's power there. And that is where you're going to have the biggest springboard, is to check in with some of that. What caused me to be sedentary? What's the fear? And how do I move through that? So maybe movement isn't about necessarily like, I'm going to crush it and you're doing a CrossFit workout. Maybe movement is like an opportunity to connect with what needs to release from your body. I know that I've been sedentary, so let me check in. And this is part of my Sweat Remix Zen Rage Heal process, to Zen, to get some clarity. I haven't moved since February of 2020. What do I need? What do I need for myself? I need to feel active and feel alive. I need to get back into a routine. Awesome. And if that's your intention, any small step in movement towards that, whether that is getting up and walking around the block, being a little bit more intentional about going up and down the stairs instead of taking the elevator, using the vacuum like a boss when you're vacuuming your house and you're cleaning, just to get your heart rate up a little bit. If the intention behind that is to move so that you can get yourself back onto routine, just start. That's the Zen and the Zen Rage Heal process. Rage is to just activate that. And that's what we do in our classes. It's a conscious and intentional way to move the body with breath. So when we're working out, we're not checking out of the breath. We're not checking out of the movement. We're consciously tuning into the body, using breath, using intention, and figuring out how this movement is going to be in alignment with the intention. And then to heal is to reflect. After that ass-kicking workout, after you're dripping sweat and your heart rate's up in like the 160, now what? What do you do? How do you use that space that you've made and say, okay, what now? How does that feel? How am I honoring myself? What comes next? How do I move in a way after this class to still stay in alignment with this intention? But it's never just arbitrary. It's always just a stepping stone and a building block to continue to grow and to move forward. So I hope that answers.
Absolutely answer my question. I love this. You see, if you're listening out for the first time, and I truly believe in working, exerting some effort in what you're doing. And I'm glad that Angela is talking about that. If you perhaps had slowed down in your efforts to get moving, maybe now is the time for you to be doing that, because this is working in your favor. And as you look after the body, this carries you around. And we are delighted that you're here listening to this conversation. And I hope you can write us back and let us know that you have started over again to move. Angela, coming back to you real quick, can people do this alone, or should they be part of an organized class and organized training? In your opinion, what is the best way to get them out?
I think everyone's journey can be different, right? I think there are some people who, can thrive in solitude, but I think when we're talking about like an elevation and an energetic shift, there is nothing, I think, more powerful than being in a space when people are subscribing to the same concept of growth, of movement, of change, and evolution. So what is it? You want to go far? What is it? You want to go far? Go together.
There's a beautiful saying. I think somebody once says an African proverb: if you want to go further, go alone. And if you want to go faster, go alone. If you want to go further, go with others.
Go together. Yeah. So I think that's the key, right? And I think sometimes we don't necessarily need advice on how to do things and what to do. Oftentimes we just need to hear and feel and validate that we're not alone.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a saying, Angela, you probably know this already, that environment is stronger than willpower. If you are in the right environment where others are doing it, you go further. Willpower can take you so far when you're alone doing it all by yourself. Absolutely, you can do it. Anything is possible. You and I know that. But when you are in the right environment where there is a cheerleader or where there is perhaps somebody who's leading you, like Angela, if you go to the website and you see her smashing it, you want to be in that environment and you learn and you can see yourself in others. So they're doing it, I can do it too, which is incredible, right?
And I think being in what we've created in our virtual, our virtual space is just permission. Permission to be exactly where you are, permission to just like be going through it. There's not a check your problems at the door. No, it's bring your problems in. How are we using what's heavy and what's hard and what's shitty and what's painful? How do we use that as an opportunity to like bust through something and break on through and go to the other side and get to the other side of the hill and get out of the tunnel? So I think what we do is really like welcome the full experience of what it means to be human, right? And we remix the idea of like joy and pain, like, because both coexist together. You can't have one without the other, right? When we're grieving just isn't sadness. Grief is the manifestation of love and all those beautiful memories that you hold with someone or something. So what we do is really combine like the full spectrum of experience and permission to be it, to feel it, to work with it, and to use it as your power, really.
I love that. Angela, you're smashing it here. Thanks again for sharing these things. I want to move on into the area of mindfulness. One of the things I'm grateful right now is the world has become more accepting to mindfulness concept. Like, if you were to think about maybe 20 years ago, this was one of those which was like, it's only for the Asian community. That's what I was told, by the way. But now here in England, people take care to be mindful. Would you share what you've discovered is the fastest way to experience the benefits of being mindful, or the mindful concept?
The fastest way. That's interesting. I don't think that there's like a quick, immediate fix. It's definitely a practice that grows over time with anything, right? So I think really one of the quickest ways I think to start and to build something is to just stop what you're doing and just be right there. Like, so everybody stop. Unless you're driving, don't stop. Don't do that. But just stop and stop trying to do and be on that motor, right? That's that warrior energy. That's that rage. And rage works best when there's intention. So stop and just look around. What do you see? What do you feel? What is? That present moment is all that there is. That's it. The future is just made up. It's just pretend. It has not happened yet. So oftentimes we're living in the future, dress rehearsing maybe a potential tragedy or something that hasn't even happened based off of what happened in the past. And we forget about what is in this present moment. So I think one of the easiest things we can do to practice mindfulness is just stop, pause, look around. What do I feel in my body? Oh, I'm breathing. What does it feel like to breathe? To feel the inhalation of your breath and the expansion of your chest and your belly, and the exhale, the air hitting your nostrils and the top of your lip. And what does the trees look like outside? Do you feel the wind on your arm? Just being a little bit more present to check in that moment, to simply just be. And when we remix that active, automotor, accomplishing energy, and there's a time and a place for that energy. We're talking with a bunch of entrepreneurs who are boss at doing, who are incredible accomplishers, who are awesome box checkers, who are successful. And there is power in all of that energy that's doing by just being first. It's almost like kinetic and potential energy first. Stop, pause, be, gather it, and then move forward.
Oh, love that. Absolutely love that. Look, if you want to get yourself unstuck, or you're finding things slightly difficult right now, you don't know which way to go, try these things that we're talking about. Get your body moving. Get yourself out there. Do something that makes your heart, race. That's one thing. And also take time and stop. Appreciate the present, the gift of life that you already have. And as you do that, think quietly, be grateful for the moment, and begin to see the world opening up for you for what is next. In your opinion, Angela, when people do these things, what's perhaps the thing that they will enjoy the most from this whole exercise?
The connection that you make with yourself. When we stop long enough, right, and we build that practice of stopping to be, we get to listen to this inner knowing within ourselves that guides us, that's connecting us to our purpose, that is the energy of the world calling us into something. And when we're too busy doing and checking boxes and worrying about the accomplishments and what comes next and chasing money, we get off our center. So when we stop, when we move with intention, when we take the time to reflect and listen to ourselves, we become more grounded in who we are and start to build roots like an oak tree, so that no matter the storm, no matter what kind of shit's happening outside, no matter a pandemic or whatever else is going to be thrown our way, we're good. We're grounded within ourselves and we're centered in order to make moves from a place of groundedness, not from scarcity, not from fear, not from an ego pattern, not arbitrarily. So I think, being able to connect with the self through a process of movement and intentionality and mindfulness has a huge benefit to stay in alignment with your life's purpose.
Love this. What I find fascinating about this whole thing in my own life is when I take time to be me and be real and take time to listen to what's going on. There is this inner knowing, like you pointed out, that life happens for me, not against me. Whatever is happening, it is all working for my good. I have what it takes to deal with whatever situation that comes my way. I have the resources. If I don't actually have perhaps the financial resources, I can become resourceful and create the things that I need to make that happen.
Absolutely. And let's look at it this way. Like when I think when we can, this is like, energy begets more energy, like begets more like. So when we're in this place where we feel stuck and we're like coming from a place of scarcity, when we're coming from a place outside of ourselves and we're reaching, it always feels inauthentic and it never quite has the exact payoff or connection. And it doesn't necessarily fuel us and make us feel as good as when we're like, wow, guess what happened today? And you were just like at the grocery store doing your thing. You found $20 and then you met this person and this person knew this person. Then Beyonce was there. I don't know. But I'm just saying, when you are connected within yourself and you're operating from almost like a radiation point internally versus you attract more of what you are being. So if you're operating from a place of like groundedness and confidence and alignment, more things that fuel that will continue to show up versus anybody who's sort of feeling stuck. Like, again, that's information. Check in. Where are you making decisions from? Is it from a place of like reaching outward and pulling in? Is it from a place of ungroundedness? Is it from a place of fear? Because like will again attract more like. So that could be just an information that it is time to switch. It is time to shift and check in. Say, okay, stop, pause. What's happening? What do I want? How do I move through it, and then reflect on how that went and what comes next.
And be grateful in all of it. What I find fascinating about this, Angela, is when I'm in that state of being me and quiet, I accomplish way more. In fact, I stop from being reactive to being strategic and being intentional. It happens as if it's a magic. It's one of those experiences which, when you experience it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's something else being told by somebody else, but when you experience, you see that you move even faster because you feel guided and you feel led, and you will get to where you want to be. Sometimes things just happen, and you think, I did not plan for this, but I knew I wanted something like this to happen in my life. It's because you are centered and you're in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's not arbitrary. That's it's definitely not like coincidence. It's you were in a state, like a flow state within yourself, where like everything was just aligned and connected, and the world responded to that.
That's right.
You know. So,
Brilliant.
yeah,
Look, we're sharing with you things that works in our lives, and I know perhaps you've had this before. Maybe you did this before and stopped to find yourself not doing this. I want to encourage you to go back to that place where you experience the fruits of being aligned to who you are, being yourself, where you stop everything, and just listen, follow your heart. We want to encourage you in this audio here that you can go back to that place and implement it in your life. You will change your world, and you help as many people as you possibly can. And coming back to you, for those perhaps who are struggling, maybe they they want to get to a state of calming, but they find their mind wandering around, or they just can't do it. Or do you have maybe a strategy or step-by-step process that you share with your student that you have to share with us here today?
So if someone is feeling stuck in that anxious place,
yeah,
is that what you're saying? Right now, your central nervous system is in panic mode. You're in fight or flight. Your sympathetic nervous system thinks that you are in danger. And when you're like, I can't start, I have too much on my mind, your body is giving you a visceral response that like, mayday, fight, mayday, like something ain't right. So what you can, and you could just be sitting on your couch doing nothing, watching TV, and having your body respond to that. So what you can do, super simple, take 10 deep breaths and focus on the exhale. The exhale is the connection to your parasympathetic nervous system. So that is our rest, that is our digest, that is our calm, healing energy. So switching your body out of that anxiety, like anxious, nervous, I got to do something right now. It's 3 a.m. and you're like, making spreadsheets in a marketing plan. Stop. 10 deep breaths. Just take 10 deep breaths. And with that exhale, you want to take it twice as long as your inhale. And really connect and let that central nervous system and let your brain know. And you can even say, I am safe. You got to talk to yourself. We say a lot of negative, nasty things about ourselves throughout the day. And that becomes part of our cellular memory. So what would happen if we start talking to ourselves like, I'm safe, I got this, everything is okay. And that'll just allow your hormones and your cortisol levels to shift so that you're able to just like take a minute to decide what's next from that place of groundedness, not the anxiety, not the I'm in danger, not the mayday, wave my flag,
Like that. In the background, I can hear Noah wanting to join the conversation there.
I thought if I put her outside, she would be fine, but nope, she probably sees a squirrel or something. She's nuts. And I love her. But yeah, she's running the conversation. She felt left out.
Yeah. Well, you know what? She probably will be listening to this and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? I should have been part of that." But these two people, put me outside. That's wrong. These human beings.
She's mad right now. She's looking at me through the glass door, like, "Come on, let me in." Nope, she's fine. It's a beautiful day here in Boston too, so I'm like, "Go be a dog."
Yeah, enjoy.
Go smell things. Come on,
That's awesome. Listen, Angela, as we come toward the end of our time here together, where can people find a place for them to connect with you?
Amazing. Well, super simple. I have some content online on Instagram. So if you follow me at Sweat Remix on Instagram, that's a great way to kind of see what we're about. And then also to visit me online at www.sweatremix.com. And you can find an entire portal of all things Zen, Rage, Heal, of all things wellness, of all things mindfulness, of all things movement. So we have a weekly schedule, which includes live virtual classes. So no matter where you are, we got you, come show up. And that includes, we have meditation classes and stretching classes, low impact stretch classes. So if you are in Boston or in a city in a tiny apartment with neighbors, come to that one because there's no jumping. So you won't piss anybody off below you if you're jumping up and down. So yeah, there's a whole weekly schedule of all kinds of classes which follow this mindfulness practice, which, if you're a busy professional and you're an entrepreneur who's juggling all of these things and all these plates up in the air, 45 minutes is all it takes for you to incorporate your mindfulness, your meditation, your movement, and your reflection. So it's a very comprehensive one-stop shop. So come through for that. We also have an on-demand platform with over 50 videos of stretching, of meditations, of workouts from yoga to cycling to low impact to HIIT. And also we are launching a movement and mental health mastermind we're enrolling in December. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a group course that focuses on how do we break through some of these barriers. So it's definitely a deep dive into those roadblocks. Why are they there? And how do I get new tools to apply so I stop repeating patterns? So if I really feel stuck and I find myself stuck over and over and over again, not just in business, but how you do one thing is how you do all things. So if you're feeling stuck in business, it's probably a reflection of what's happening in other aspects of your life too. So we really dive into that using the Zen Ratio process, using movement, taking classes, going into like a course where we're journaling, where we're communicating, where we're talking, where we're learning. So all things on the website, sweatremix.com. And anybody who signs up for a membership gets a free week. So come check it out. Get a free week.
How cool.
We're here for you. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email.
Amazing. Listen, we want you to succeed. It takes not just the willingness to succeed, it takes action. And when you apply what we talked about or reach out to Angela or many of our guests here, you are certainly moving in the right direction. Okay, what can you do today? Here's how I want to finish our conversation here today. From what we've talked about, just pick one thing that Angela has said or what I've said. Really write it down and put a due date when you're going to be implementing that. Remember that old saying, never leave a place of discovery without a clear action plan as to how you're going to be implementing this. So I want to encourage you, pick one thing you've had today. Maybe you're in the car listening, take a mental note of that. And when you stop, write down that I'm going to be doing this. Maybe it is planning out to go for a walk. Maybe it's planning out to join Angela's class. Maybe it is to join an exercise platform or a particular class. Put a specific date on that. Now, when that date comes and you find yourself not completing or not doing what you say you were going to do, ask yourself, why is that? Because the same thing that is stopping you from going after your goals could be stopping you from achieving other goals in other areas of life. And here's the question for you. Do you want that for yourself? If the answer is no, then you definitely need to reach out to Angela and get some assistance there, or reach out to somebody else who can show you how to do that. Believe me, the bottom line is you have what it takes to get yourself unstuck with the help of few people who certainly can do that. Well, I've gone on for a long time on that one, but look, we want you to succeed. Angela, final words from you before we wrap up here.
No, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I love being able to talk to entrepreneurs because it is not for the faint of heart. This is running a business and creating a vision successfully takes effort in places that I don't think anybody really realizes until they are there. And it can be a lot. And I would encourage anybody listening to just pause for a moment and remember that you will do your best work when you are coming from a place of wholeness, when you are at your best, when your life mask is on first. So I am here to serve and to help and to provide a soft place for people to land, to get centered, to move through in a safe community where the common goal is that we all want to improve, we all want growth, we all want change, and we're all looking to do greatness and epicness in this world. So I hope to see you. I hope that you'll take me up on my offer and come through, and please take care of yourself. Please, please, please take care of yourself. We need you to continue to do these things and these greatness in this world. So please continue to take care of yourself.
Love that. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Angela Gentile helping you become your very best. Please check out the website in the link below. And if you've got any question, you can either reach out to Angela or reach out to my team or myself and see you getting there. Listen, you can do this. And you have what it takes to succeed. You have what it takes to live a well-being life, a life worth living, a life that can be an example to somebody else. With that said, I want to leave you with these words. Live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come. And again, Angela, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.